What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nate, when the Underdog spraying. Um, just checking in. I'm just kind of letting you know how things are going with us in the spraying field. Right now, season is about to get started, so um, we'll be taking off here soon. Right now, we are at 200 customers. We throughout the wintertime, I think we dropped down to like 185. So now we picking back up. So right now we're at 200. Have a couple more in the chamber. So we should be at 202 in the next day or so, hopefully. Um, as you know, tomorrow is April. So by tomorrow being April, that means we're full fledged getting ready to take off in the weed control and in the cutting season. We we've been kind of trying to get ahead of it with putting down the fertilizers because somebody asked me what was our treatments, what were we doing. So this is how we run our program. Um, and I kind of give you a breakdown from January through December. Um, in January, February, March, we're running pre-emergent. Specifically speaking, in this case, we're running prodiamine, right? Trying to get on top of the weeds for the crabgrass, the warm season weeds, which is what we're trying to tackle now. We do have the pre-emergent in the tank, the post-emergent as well. So something like a 3-way that's in the tank. What else? Pre-emergent, post-emergent. That's mainly it during those cold months. It's mainly cleaning up and getting that pre-emergent down. When we switch over to April, April we start to put down. Well, late this month, late March, we started to introduce a little bit of the 46O, like I was saying on the last video. We started putting the 46O down. Not a lot as far as quantity is concerned, but mainly enough to go ahead and give the give the lawn something to eat on as it wakes up. So going from that, now we're moving to the 1st of April tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be going full fledged with the fertilizer. I have to go fill the tank up in a few, possibly tonight. I will be putting in the tank 2 bags of 46O, 50-pound bags, because we want to go ahead and get that lawn to go ahead and pop now. So we're gonna run that from all of April. And you can go 3 bags. You can go even more than that, but it gets expensive, especially when you're running 2 trucks. But we're gonna go 46O, 2 bags in a 200-gallon tank. Then from there, we'll look at it'll be April to late May. We're gonna run that 46O. The reason, and along with the post-emergent as well, we pulling off the pre-emergent April 1st. No more pre-emergent. It should have been enough from January to March to get enough down. So that's at least 3 rounds on our properties of prodiamine. So we'll get ready to pull off of that tomorrow. Won't be no more pre-emergent down on the property. Not to say that it's right or wrong, but like I said, it starts to get expensive. Plus, we on a program, so we trying to stick to our program. Heavy on the fertilizer April 1st all the way until the end of May. Then end of May, we're gonna switch over to a lighter, not necessarily a high nitrogen product. We'll be moving over to a slow release fertilizer. And we'll run that till possibly the end of July. They're gonna last a while. It's gonna take some time for those granulars to break down. The reason why you want to put down the the slow release, because in the summertime you don't want to burn up the lawn. So high nitrogen on the hot grass, it'll definitely burn it up. Even though it's a fertilizer, it still can burn it. So we're gonna put that slow release down, let it release slow, so the grass will still have some nutrients. I forgot to mention also, we start adding insecticide to the tank tomorrow. I have 2 bottles of insecticide downstairs now, one for my truck, one for my son's truck. He did get his truck up and running, so that's a blessing. That boy took an engine out and put a new one in by himself. Well, he had some guidance from an older gentleman, but he mainly did it all himself. Got a whole lot more courage in doing things than I did coming up. But we'll be putting insecticide in the tank along with post-emerge. Definitely the 3-way. I do have some triclopyr. I don't add too much triclopyr to the tank because it's pretty strong, the one I have. So I add a very small amount. It's so strong that it makes me get a headache. So I put and when I say a little amount, I mean like 2 ounces, just to make the post-emergent a little bit stronger. I do need to order some Celsius to get down on the grassy weeds. Celsius is a systemic chemical. So by it being systemic, it's gonna go down into the root system and work its way up. So I do need to get that to get on these grassy weeds. Post-emergent, it's gonna do its job as far as the weeds that have broke through the pre-emergent. Hopefully we don't have that problem. But it's always a possibility, which is why they continue to sell post-emergent, because you can't always guarantee that it's gonna work. To 100. As far as 100% is concerned, that's why I tell customers we do weed control. We don't do weed eradication. It's weed control. Once we get to the end of June, we'll start pulling off of the. We'll start getting ready to introduce pre-emergent again. In this case, the pre-emergent, we're gonna get ready to start introducing, and from, like I said, the end of May to June, July, we'll still be running those slow release. They're gonna release over a month and a half, 2 months anyway. So it's enough nutrients to take us all the way until September. If we get 2 granular treatments down. Once we get to August, late July, we'll start implementing the pre-emergent once again. But this time we'll be implementing something like a simazine, not a simazine or a spectacle. I personally can't afford a spectacle at this point. Still haven't had a chance to get any, but the simazine has been working pretty good. However, I think the spectacle would be better for us to get, because we've had a lot of breakthrough this season as far as poana is concerned. And that's a cool season weed. So we need to get that, need the simazine down. I mean, the spectacle down. I think if we really want to fight that poana, which is what a lot of people recommend. But we run simazine now all the way to the end of, I think, November, because we're trying to get on top of the wild onion, the wild garlic, and things of that sort. So that's been working for us so far. December, we just kind of cleaning up the lawn, putting that glyphosate down, because you want to wait before you put the glyphosate down on a dormant Bermuda. You want to wait until everything is completely dormant. So once the Bermuda goes all the way dormant, you can put that Bermuda down. Now, some people say you can't put glyphosate on centipede and zoysia. Well, it's a whole lot different in weed control when you're out here on the field yourself, right? When you're hands-on. So everything is dormant, you know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. You may have to apply a lighter rate on the centipede or the zoysia, but one thing I did notice is, so we have about 6 or 7 centipede customers. And before I finish this, also what we're gonna start doing as the month starts to warm up, we're gonna start adding fungicide to the tank before the humidity starts to kick in. We're not gonna add a lot of fungicide. We're just gonna add enough fungicide in there to prevent, any problems from coming up. So we'll start putting that fungicide in there around probably like around June. We'll start putting the fungicide because that's July everything gonna start heating up, especially August. But back to what I was saying regarding the glyphosate on the Bermuda and the Georgia centipede. So we got like 6 or 7 centipede customers, right? Um, what we did was we put they had some things on their property that need to be cleaned up also. So we were cleaning them up. November, December, we put the Bermuda down. Now, you would have to make that decision yourself when you want to start applying the glyphosate to the properties. We started in November. Once everything started going down, the grass started going dormant, we started to add the glyphosate to the Bermuda, all our customers' properties. And what happened was I had a problem the year before on the centipede where the centipede it woke up, but it just woke up like around May. So that let me know last year, late 2024, it let me know when I put that glyphosate down, even though the centipede's dormant, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull off of the glyphosate in January. So I put one more treatment down of glyphosate on centipede while it was dormant in January, and I didn't touch it no more. Went back to my other properties, my centipede properties in February and March, and they're greening up just fine. So that's why I say a lot of times you have to check out the properties yourself, hands-on, and see yourself what product is really going to work, for you. But it's always good to go by what the label says because the label is the law. However, with putting down something to clean the lawn up, it's not against the law to put a glyphosate on a dormant grass. Now they recommend a dormant Bermuda, but like I said, we put it on the centipede while it was dormant just to test it out, just to see. I wanted to test the theory and see would that centipede wake up and green up, and it did. It did pretty good. So that's one thing I've learned. Just pull off that when you have a lot of customers and say you got everything in the tank. One thing we have learned to do is, so centipede, St. Augustine, you can't really give them the same treatments as you do a Bermuda and Georgia lawn. So instead of me putting all of the mixes inside the tank, especially in the summertime, because with post-emergent like 3-way and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit more damaging on the centipede in Georgia. So centipede in St. Augustine. So what you do is first thing in the morning, you put your say for instance you got some a little bit of fertilizer in the tank, a little bit of food or something, or you want to put some potassium down on a small amount of potassium on the centipede. My suggestion would be to just have that in the tank. Go hit the centipede properties on a certain day. Hit those centipede properties on a certain day. In our case, we got 2 trucks, so I can hit the centipede properties all in one day, get a little bit of potassium just so it can get some food on the centipede, and I'll go real light on the post-emergent. And if I happen to go do some more yards that same day, which happen to be more so Bermuda and Georgia, I'll have my container with me, and I'll go ahead and put the rest of I'll go ahead and pour some post-emergent in there, and if I got some fertilizer, I'll have a bag with me or something, or whatever I'm gonna put in the tank for those Bermuda and Georgia grasses, I'll bring it with me. And I'll just do the centipede and the St. Augustine lawns first, you know what I'm saying? Because they're a little bit more sensitive. So just keep that in mind. I wanted to show you some. The other day, I was at a property that we have. It's a cleaners in Riverdale, and I was over there spraying the cleaners. And while I was spraying the property, this guy came up on me and wanted me to check out his property, which is right around the corner. So here it is. I'm trying to get home, because it's like 5:36 at this time because I got out pretty late that day, I think. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go around there and look at the property. So I go around the corner, look at the property, and it just so happened that this guy he said he just threw down all type of seeds on this property, but the property looked like to me it's more so of a centipede lawn. But getting him, getting him, getting him as a customer, that was good because he also went next door, or he called his neighbor and told him to come outside. And he was like, man, we need to, talk. You need to talk to my neighbor too, man, because we mainly do everything the same. If I get treatment, it's not gonna make sense for him not to get treatment because my yard gonna look good and his yard gonna look bad. So let me get him outside and see what he say. So he called him outside and was letting him know he was gonna get his yard treated. And he was like, well, I figured I should just, let you know too, man. Get mine treated, get yours treated. And he was like, the neighbor was like, yeah, man, go ahead and treat mine too. So this is the two lawns next to each other and got both of them on schedule now. So I just want to show you, hopefully we can transform these particular properties. That's why I called it. Let's see if we can transform these lawns. So let's see here. So you see I'm about to crank up the tank. Y'all excuse me here. Now I done cut the video and I done walked all the way to the back of the properties. What you want to do is on a lawn like this, when you pull up to a lawn, you want to bring the hose all the way back to the furthest point if possible. And once you get to that furthest point, you can work your way toward the front. As you can see, this lawn is covered with a lot of different types of weeds. Got clove on the property. He got a lot of poa back there. Even got Dallas grass coming up. And he has some sections where he threw down centipede seeds. I'm just trying to get my guidance on what he should do. So I mainly kind of give customers advice as far as the grass is concerned. I kind of let them know to, we want to let everything start waking up and, start to green up first before we really decide if you want to put some seeds or whatever you want to do to the lawn, overseed and stuff like that, because you want to see what you're working with. This is over at the neighbor's property. He has a centipede, but in the back here, this is poa. Now, I want to show you guys something on this particular property here. Okay, I think this is the section right here. Let's see here. Okay, I'm just walking back and forth. All right, so let's go back. I want to show you something. All right, so right here, right? So one way I can tell if there is a dog or something on the property, one way I can tell is all these spots right here. See these spots right here? You see that poa right there? That lets me know that there's some type of animal on the property urinating and feces is on the property somewhere. I mean, something is putting feces and urine on the property. And some people like to say, well, some people like to, well, some people say the dog isn't using it on the property, but I can definitely tell what the from what I understand and I can't remember the guy's name. It's another guy I've been studying. It's an older white gentleman that I've been studying lately. Epistemology or something like that. He does like a lot of reviews on some of the channels. But I watch him a lot to try to get a better understanding on weed control. But he put out a video just kind of showing how, I think it's called lawn epistemology, something like that. But he was saying, he did a study showing how I believe the dog urine has lactic acid in it. And from the study he pulled up, the urine is more so like putting Roundup on the ground. So when I see this right here, when I see that type of stuff, it lets me know in those sections that a dog has been using it. Now this is the neighbor's lawn, and as you can see, the truck is further down. Let's see here. As you can see, the truck is down a little bit. Let's see. Okay, see, so I'm parked in between hitting both of these properties. I'm parked in between spraying both of those lawns. Now, one of the properties is 92, the other one is 85. And it literally took me about 30 minutes to knock both of them out. As you can see now, looking at that, that's dormant centipede, and you still got some coming up, but those are some other type of weeds in the lawn as well. So we want to get rid of those. Want to get rid of that, and then allow this that centipede to go ahead and take off. Now these are the type of properties that I was talking about that you're gonna go to first, and you're gonna whatever you have to put down, go ahead and get that down on the lawn first. Get it that. Go ahead and treat the centipede first before you get to your other properties. You can see a nice layout on the lawn, and going back and forth on the property. I edited some of it. I think it was about 30 minutes, 20 something minutes. So I edited it down to 6 minutes, but just to kind of show what's going on there. All those spots, like let's come back here. See, this one thing you can tell a customer when they have bald spots in the lawn. They can overseed, but at the same time, if they be patient, a lot of times those spots will fill in. Centipede and St. Augustine may be a little bit slower than so right here. Centipede and St. Augustine might be a little bit slower. Of course, it'll be a little slower than St. Augustine, than Georgia and Bermuda. Bermuda's gonna move a lot faster, but the centipede is gonna move a little slow. So let's see if we can find that spot right there. Let's see here. Okay, right here. So that spot right there, it's a bald spot there. So it's not really to go crazy about. Once everything starts to wake up, usually what happens is it'll fill in. And like I said, from the looks of it over here, that looks like centipede to me. Just looking at the grass, I knew it was centipede because it definitely was St. Augustine. And it's definitely not Bermuda or Georgia. But that stuff right there is going to fill in. So you can let the customers know they don't have to really, go crazy at the beginning of the season when they start seeing stuff like this. If they can just be patient, let everything start to green up, and once it starts to green up and a little fertilizer or fertilizer is put on the property, it's going to encourage the growth. So along with cutting the grass, that's going to encourage it as well, and those spots are starting to fill in. But just let them know to let it green up first before they put anything down. Let's see what we got here. Just a just a day I came out on a Sunday and knocked them out because I didn't have nothing going on that Sunday. Yeah, you're right, Sydney. I thank you for that. So when you and Sydney, Mr. Sydney, so when you say so you're talking about like the bluegrasses and stuff like that, the northern turf or the upper regions. Yeah, because one thing I've noticed, a lot of people in the South, they always ask, well, should I oversee? And one thing I think to myself is, are you guys talking to your neighbors or something? Or where y'all getting this from? Okay, thank you, Mr. Whitaker. I just asked myself, where y'all getting this from? Like, if you be patient, it'll fill in. I know some things are bad, but then a lot of people, they I don't know why, but they seem skeptical about the sod and stuff. But if you want the lawn to look good, you just have to you're gonna have to spend some money on it to get it back how you want it. But right here, so we just mainly just spraying these right here, spraying these lawns, trying to clean them up. This is our first treatment on this lawn right here. And like I said, we just put a very, very, very small amount of fertilizer in here. And when I say small amount, I'm talking about like cup size. I'm not talking about like a half a bag or none of that. It was 4 32-ounce cups. That's all I have in there just to, as the grass starts to wake up, just something to eat on. But next month, we'll definitely be going a little harder. But like I was saying earlier, it's a little bit different though, as far as the centipede and St. Augustine is concerned compared to the Bermuda. So you got to be real careful based on what I'm starting to learn about it. Well, we learned that when we were studying for the test anyway, but you don't want to get out there and burn no lawn, man. I know people want to just feed the grass, but you got to be careful. You definitely want to burn it. But these guys are next to each other. Properties are pretty big. And it's something we can knock out. Like I said, I went out on a Sunday got them out the way because they weren't on schedule, and I didn't want them to throw the route off because I had on schedule going to a totally different side of town. If that's a what that looked like a thistle. That's what it looked like. But I know one thing. I bull thistle never registered to me. Like in the Bible, it talks about thorns and thistles as far as the creation is concerned and the sin of Adam. Talks about as far as the earth is concerned now, thorns and thistles shall it bring forth. So it's gonna be hard now. Life's gonna be a whole lot tougher now. It should have been easy, right? But because of sin, it's a lot harder now. I got to work from the sweat of your brow. But I say that because I never registered thistles with thorns. So one day I was in my yard. I went to go pick up a thistle to get it out of my lawn, and man, that thing hurt like I don't know what, man. And that's when I realized, oh, thorns and thistles, they go together. So bull thistle is definitely sticky. So be careful. But that's it on that video. I just wanted to kind of show you guys what we were working on the last video out. I do welcome all the comments, all the advice. We just trying to learn, and the only way you learn is you got to humble yourself. So if you guys have any advice, feel free to let us know. And like I'm the type of person, I just wish someone would have told me about the weed control field when I was out cutting grass for 14 years. So I don't mind sharing it with other people. I don't mind, letting people know what they can do to get in the field, because it's a great field to be in. You got to be on your knowledge though, and you got to study. And I think you really have to love it, because if you love it, you're gonna stay on top of your game. But that's it. Hope everybody's doing okay. Getting excited about the weed control season. Hopefully, we can have 300 by the end of the year. Our plan is me and my son, to get 500 customers. Once we get 500, we'll go ahead and start bringing other guys in, helping other people out. But we'll be able to do 250 a piece. And after that, 5 years from the time we started, that'll be about 18, 19 years that we've been out actually in the agriculture field. My son told me the other day, he said, when I get 29, I would have been working for 20 years. And I said, well, hopefully by that time you can retire. So, and that's 4 years from now, so we trying to push it, but we have a good time doing it. Other than that, that's it. And I'll be checking back in with you guys probably about 2 or 3 days. All right. Underdog.